officially written language of a short-term spending package that would extend government funding through November 21st.
The GOP leaders say the resolution is largely clean and should receive bipartisan support, but with a few key Democratic priorities still left off, the threat of a shutdown is still very real.
We are going to give them every opportunity to vote for a clean CR, something that in the past Senator Schumer and the Democrats have said they support. In fact, just as recently as last year about this time, he made the statement that shutdowns cause pain and needless harm and chaos for the American people.
Washington correspondent Drew Petrimo joins us with some more on this. And Drew, pretty big day. People still eyeing that September 30th deadline for a shutdown.
Yeah, so what we heard yesterday is this language that came out that would extend funding through November 21st. It would have some key provisions. One very important to D.C., including that $1 billion, basically allowing D.C. to spend $1 billion that was essentially frozen by Congress previously. There would also be about $90 billion in additional security, both for lawmakers, the executive branch, and the Supreme Court. Republicans, we've heard them say, this is basically a clean CR. This is continuing Biden-era levels of spending, so there's no reason that Democrats should oppose it. Democrats, though, have a lot of problems. First, they want the Republicans to go back on some of the cuts that they have passed to health care programs. They also want to extend subsidies for Obamacare that expire at the end of the year. There's also this issue of rescissions. Democrats have been very angry with Republicans basically clawing back spending that was previously secured. So they want to guarantee in this continuing resolution that any money that is allocated, Republicans won't later come and claw back. So there's a giant gap between where both parties are at. And again, we're going closer and closer to this deadline.
The front page of The Hill, which is out today, says it all, and it puts the two men squarely in the middle of it in the Senate. Majority Leader John Thune, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. These are the two guys that have been going back and forth for days now about whose fault it is if the government is shut down. Let's listen to sound from both of them.
Speaker Johnson says he hopes Democrats won't politicize the process, but he's already politicized it by refusing our multiple requests to sit down and talk. When President Trump goes on Fox News and says to Republicans, don't even bother dealing with them, meaning us, don't even bother dealing with Democrats, when he says out loud he doesn't need or want our votes, that means Donald Trump wants a shutdown.
They don't expire until the end of the year, and so we have until the end of December to figure all that out. I can tell you that there's real concern. I have concern. Republicans have concern about those policies. If you look at how much they've been abused, in my estimation, in some ways, there's no income cap on it. People make $600,000 a year, get a government subsidy for their health care. I don't think that that's going to be a popular measure.
About that issue of the Obamacare subsidies. Basically what happened, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but during COVID times, Congress extended the subsidies, basically put a cap on how much people can pay out of pocket. There's an issue with that where Republicans are saying, look, we can wait till the end of the year, they don't expire until then. Democrats counter saying the rates are going to be set in October and there could be a sticker shock if people see the rates and worry about their subsidy. That could end up people not registering for health insurance, especially healthy people, which could hurt the pool and end up driving up costs for a lot of people. So there's just a huge gulf in between the parties right now. And for Democrats, they're getting a lot of pressure from their base to kind of stand up and fight. They have few levers of power in Washington right now, and this is one area where they can make their mark. And they say if Republicans don't want to negotiate with us, we'll sit back, they control the government, and they can go move forward with their agenda. But the reality is they actually do need some Democratic votes, especially in the Senate. So if both sides are, if Republicans are unwilling to negotiate with Democrats, we could be headed for a shutdown.
And that's been their red line all along. Democrats have been saying, we're not going to play ball with you if you're not going to play ball with us.
They want to negotiate is what they say, but they haven't really put down the stakes of what exactly they want in exchange for their votes. There's kind of a hodgepodge of different issues that Democrats have. So it'll be interesting to see if they can coalesce around a message and if they're willing to really risk going up to that deadline and forcing a shutdown to drive home the issue.